Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well. And if you love the idea of combining modern quilting with the timeless Nordic charm, well, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to take you through my entire journey of creating this beautiful Nordic quilt. We'll talk about the inspiration of using scrap fabrics and that beautiful Christmas red to get that authentic look, and I'll walk you through all the steps. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get started and get comfortable. You're going to enjoy this one. All right. Think about all the beautiful reds that you have in your stash that you can use for this particular quilt. I have actually used scraps for mine. And you need a combination of darks, mediums, and lights. And as you can see, I have all the sizes laid out here already and all the cuts have been done. The pattern will tell you what you need, so not to worry about that. Pair them off as you see laid out here. You need the dark and the light and the medium lights. I have started to work on some of the combinations here for laying out the stars, and I am considering whether or not to lay them out as an original Nordic star or to play with the concept of the stars itself. Now let's talk about sewing this together. So you'll sew these two, then add on. Obviously, once you've made your half square triangles, you would place them as I have done. Ensure that this red is facing upwards, like so, in each of the corners, okay? All right, so they must be facing out, facing out, facing out, okay? That's important. Now also you're going to sew these together here as your four patch, four patch, four patch, four patch. Once that is done, the next step is to add the center, and then you can add your center strip here. Then you add the other center strip and then sew this whole thing together as one. Now what you can do is add on your strip from this end here first, and then add on your center dot and then join the whole thing together. All right, but the pattern will give you the full details, okay? Make sure when you do this that you pin. I didn't pin this one, so it's slightly off. I mean, if that bothers you, you can remove it, but to be honest, in the overall appearance, if I stand back, I am not going to see that. All right, so I'm not going to, make a huge stress, because if you look at it, it's not that much off. Okay, so but that's where we're at. So definitely make your four patches first, and then you can add on the center strips to ensure that you don't make a mistake. So what I'm going to do from here now is move on to the next stages, and then I'll show you where we're at with the layout. Without realizing, I continued to chain piece. And so I continued making the blocks like this. And as I'm looking at the block, I didn't even realize. So I'm explaining to you here that the corners are correct, just to ensure that, because this is very important in the overall layout of the block and having the corners laid out correctly. But I liken this. So here is the chain piece that we need to make as well. I've made all of the four patches together as well as everything else, and I've laid them out here. It was at this point of laying out the blocks did I notice I did something wrong after making all the Nordic stars. As I'm laying it out, I'm thinking, I'm so excited to see this completed. And I'm taking my chain block and I put it down and I'm thinking, this doesn't look right. This doesn't measure up. What did I do? I'm twisting and turning it and it still doesn't. And after carefully looking at it, I realize I have to make a choice because I have cut my strips across the wrong size. Do I unpick it and re-stitch it all over again and make the correct size, or do I start all over again with something else? Well, I decided was to take it all out, and here's the proof. So I sat there late and completed. I then decided I am not going to add the strips and I'm going to use it as is. And I quite liked it. So I went ahead, stitched it all together. This is what it looks like. And I'm here basting it at the moment. So as usual, I would always baste the batting because I think it works. It sticks to the batting, the spray basting, and then I can smooth away the quilt up onto the batting. I will also advise you that don't spray the quilt top because once it drops, sometimes it can get tangled. But the technique I use is always to do half of the quilt and then do the other half. But I'm kind of liking the pattern as it is without the strips. It makes it different. And what I was mentioning about having the red corners in the correct orientation is important because you can see where it's joined there to make up the chain block. And it gives that red and green, that very Christmas colors there blend together. So just continue to smoothen it all out. And that's really important because we want when we're quilting that it's nice and smooth. Okay, so on the back, I've actually used an Aboriginal print. My thinking behind this was that even though the front is Christmassy, the back can be used at any time of the year, and you can throw this over wherever area you're going to use it in and decide on which season you would like to use it. So a beautiful autumn season will do because of the colors. So I'm basting as I would just the back the same way, half as usual, which I think makes it so much more simplified. And then once I'm done with this, of course, I am going to start my quilting. Now, this quilt was, I mean, really easy to complete without the mistakes that I made would have even been a shorter experience. But it's all part of the fun and games, isn't it? When we make a mistake. I could have chosen was to use the blocks as is and build up the chain piece and add a little border around it. But I didn't really want to do that. I really wanted to show off the chain reaction and I still would have gotten that effect. But in hindsight, I was happy with the decision I made at the time. So, all right, all quilting done now. So it's time to literally trim up the edges and add the binding. So as I am trimming the edges here off, of all the excess batting and backing fabric. I'm thinking what sort of binding that I'm going to choose, because by this time I had not chosen the binding. Usually when I'm making like my quilts, I usually choose the binding once I am finished. Very, very rarely do I have the idea of what color or what fabric the binding is going to be. And here it is. This quilt is all finished and measures 38 by 56. I am so incredibly happy with how this quilt turned out. It's exactly the cozy handmade centerpiece I wanted for home this season. This project was a wonderful reminder that sometimes mishaps happens when quilting, but the most beautiful things are made from simple repeating shapes, patience, love, and the thoughtful color palette of choosing your scraps red, of darks, greens, and light. And if you're feeling inspired to make your own, I've linked the pattern I've used in the description down below, so you can make your beautiful season throw for your sofa or your table as I have it displayed here. It is so lovely and light. I have used a very large to medium meandering quilting all over, and I think this looks absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful little quilt, and I'm sure that you can use this at anywhere in your home for Christmas, whether it be on your table, on your dining table, or just on the sofa, or that special reading nook that you have in your home. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more quilting and crafting adventures and mistakes that always lets you know exactly what can happen in quilting. So thanks for watching, and I'm so happy for you to be here. Until next time, guys, happy quilting, and I will definitely see you next week for another video. Bye for now. See you in the next one.